Oh, come on, BTC.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. Today is the 21st of June. It's 11 a.m. and Bitcoin is currently wetting the bed. That is right. We are below 64,000. We are at 63,575. Don't worry. We have a full explanation of what is going on if you've been watching the show. For the last week, we have been giving you our targets for Bitcoin. One is 63,000, the other is 61,000. We also said we were going to go up yesterday. We did, and we got rejected. So we're going to go through all of that anyway as we go through the show. But do not panic if you are tuning in. Bitcoin is not going to zero. It's not going to $10,000. Just breathe. It's Friday. Relax. Enjoy an hour of your day listening to the latest crypto news. We have a lot to get through as well today. We're going to talk about the Germany government. We're going to talk about Treasury notes. We're going to talk about Solana, Michael Saylor, Charles Hoskinson, Konami, and final thoughts. It's a lot to get through, and we have a lot of X-Files as well. We've got more X-Files than normal because there's just so much to cover. So we have a packed show. The first thing you need to do is hit the like button, say hello in chat, let me know you're there. Bottom right hand corner, still got the $74,000 target. That's going to happen. That is going to happen. The poll question of the day today is, are we going to be above or below $70,000 by the end of June? And that is only 9 days away. Are we going to be above or below $70,000 by the end of June? Let me know in chat what you think and vote. Bottom left hand corner, we did it. We hit 140,000 followers. Only 10,000 to go to 150,000, which of course is a big milestone. And to celebrate, I've put a little squiggly red line on top of the fans just to show that, you know, it's like a birthday cake, except there's no cake and it's not my birthday. Good morning, Solo Sai. Good morning, Velvet Rope, Mags, Hidden Agendas. Welcome to the chat. I hope you are all doing well. I am not expecting to see many people today simply because of the panic that's in the market. People basically get bored and they leave, they paper hands, they sell up and they wait for the markets to recover. And that is perfectly normal. That is exactly how you should be feeling. But as the title of the show says today, hold on tight. This is not the time to panic. We are at $63,000. We were at $15,000 in the summer last year. We've come a long way. We are retracing a little bit. We are not breaking 60,000 tomorrow or today. We're not breaking 57,000. We're at 63.6. It is not the end of the world. As I keep saying, this horrible feeling in the pit of your stomach that you're feeling now, you will have that feeling when we retrace from 80,000, when we retrace from 100,000, when we retrace from 150,000. That feeling is not going to change because it is human nature. So whatever we retrace from, whatever we retrace to, you're going to feel as sick as a dog. Crypto is not about enjoying your time. Crypto is not about enjoying this price action. It's about the end goal, and that end goal should be life-changing wealth. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the state of the markets and see where we are today. Bitcoin, 63,580, ETH, 3,455. BNB, again BNB, it's just like an elephant that walks into your room and falls asleep on the sofa. You can't move it, you can't do anything with it, you can't use it, it just sits there. It hasn't really moved. It's just there, $580. Solana is creeping slowly down, $130. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this for Solana. $130, $120, $115. These are incredible prices. Good morning, Chris. Welcome to the stream. XRP back below 50 cents. Now, this is the fun part. Let's see if we've got any gainers. We don't. Most of the coins in the top gainers for the last 24 hours are, of course, stable coins, so we won't waste any time looking at that. And losers, what is good to pick up right now? Doc with hat is below $2. Who would have thought it? Notcoin heading into non-existence, back to 1.4 cents. Jasmy is down, Bonk is down, Arweave is down, Pepe is down. Lots of double-digit crushed coins this morning. Beam is down, Render, they're all getting absolutely trashed. Don't panic. Bullish Bull is in chat. Remember, Bullish Bull only turns up. It's like seeing a black cat crossing the road. It's a sign of good fortune. Good morning. Hello all to you as well. Welcome to the stream. Don't panic. If you're new here, smash the like button, give us a follow, and don't worry. We're going to go through the news. I'm going to explain what is happening today. And there are some huge developments. Today is Witching Day. I'm going to get onto that in a minute. Let's go through the X-Files then and see where we end up. So Dan with Crypto, again, one of the new favorites on the show when X decides to load this morning. Bitcoin's biggest liquidity zone is still at $72,000. Price is pretty far off any major liquidity level as we speak. Remember, the longs getting wrecked right now are just going to suck more money into the whales. When those whales have finished feeding on the longs, they are going to go after the shorts. To get the shorts, the price has to go up. So Gemini crypto exchange founders, so the Winklevoss brothers, both donated $1 million to Donald Trump to put an end to the Biden administration's war on crypto. They both donated 15.5 Bitcoin to Donald Trump. It's actually less than $2 million now because the price has dropped. I don't know what it is, $900,000, whatever it might be today. But the point of the matter is, we would never have expected this picture 4 years ago at the previous election. We'd never have seen this. It just wouldn't have happened. Fun fact of the day, Solana this time last year was at $16. Okay? It's $130 today and people are crying. It was $16 this time last year. That's what, an 8x in a year? Understand where we are in the cycle. We all expect us to move up and to the right, and it is going to happen. But there are things outside of our control that will cause these things to happen. Marathon is now warming a town of 11,000 people in Finland using heat from Bitcoin mining. There you go. There's a nice positive start to the day. And there's two more. And the last one is to do with the witching. 3iQ just filed to launch the first Solana ETF in Canada and thus North America, looking to launch under the ticker 3Q Sol. Canada has spot Bitcoin and spot Ethereum ETFs before the US even got futures ETFs for either assets. Now remember one thing, I've been reading about this, it's not a true ETF. It's not an exchange traded fund, it's a closed fund. It's a lot like the Grayscale Solana Trust, so it's not a real ETF. However, that doesn't matter because the headline news is what matters, and that is that Solana is going to be next on the agenda. We've had the starter with Bitcoin, we've had the main course with Ethereum, and now we're having pudding, and our pudding is Spotted Dick, and that Spotted Dick is the Solana ETF. And then finally, if you are wondering why the price is all over the place, we are having a quadruple witching event. In simple terms, quad witching is when 4 different sets of futures and options expire all on the same day. Good morning, Fran. This lines up and happens 4 times a year, and it's happening today. It doesn't mean it's bullish or bearish on the market, but it does mean money managers will have a lot of fresh liquidity to reallocate. So it could go either way, but can often be a bit of a turning point in the market. Will be interesting to see how the market reacts. Now, of course, we are going to bring up the Bitcoin chart and talk about that after this next article about Germany. But just to put it into context, we have been on this slide for a considerable amount of time. And as the article or the comment alludes to, we normally break out. So that's where we are. These lines, that's okay. That is where we are. Since the 5th of June, which is only 2 weeks away, we've been in this horrible downward action. We could go further back and start to look at other events. We still have the moon phases on there. So if we're looking at signals about a turn, and we're going to get into this again in a minute, then one thing to bear in mind is that we are going to see a move up. It's going to happen. Lots of people are talking about a further move down. Ain't going to happen. Anyway, let's get onto the article first. So it's a quadruple witching day today. Honestly, if you're going to do anything today, I would consider nothing but looking upwards for Bitcoin. I wouldn't be doing a lot of trading today. It's not going to go well. We don't know what's going to happen at 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, 3 or 4 hours from now, 4 or 5 hours from now. Markets will open, all hell will break loose. Personally, sit on the side, enjoy your Friday. Now then, just when you think we were out of the woods with Grayscale, and just as you thought we were out of the woods with everybody else, along comes Germany to start selling its Bitcoin billions, triggering volatility fears. Now, tell me you know nothing about crypto. By telling me you know nothing about crypto, Germany is selling $3 billion in seized Bitcoin. Instead of holding onto it or transferring it to their treasury, put it in their vaults, they're selling it off. $3 billion. It's not a lot, and they're not doing it in one go. But again, we talk about Buckaroo a lot on the channel. You know, each of these little tiny micro events causes a tiny amount of pressure upwards or downwards on Bitcoin, and these small events do cause downward pressure. This probably negates the Michael Saylor purchase that we're going to talk about, but they are selling it in tranches. They're selling it in blocks. They're not going to try and do it in one go. They've sold $195 million. They're probably going to sell $195 million over the period of 2 or 3 weeks. But again, it's not so much to do with the amount, it's the tiny micro amounts of pressure, and of course the headline news that they are selling it. So they seized Bitcoin and they are now selling it. And they're selling it through some major exchanges. In the latest transactions, the German government transferred $65 million of Bitcoin to likely exchanges, adding to the 130 million moved yesterday. Despite these massive apparent sales, German authorities still hold over $3 billion of Bitcoin. Again, don't sell the Bitcoin. It's a terrible move. People will look back in 2 or 3 years' time and say, remember when Germany sold $3 billion worth of Bitcoin? If they'd have held it, it would be worth $25 billion today. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. It's happened in the past as well. You can look backwards. You can look at Pizza Day. You can look at the guy that sold all of his Bitcoin at $1 and $9. Looking back, you can see the memes. Looking into the future, you can see those memes are going to happen. The large-scale sale has already had a noticeable impact on the Bitcoin price, according to Robert Quartley Janero. Well, that's a name and a half. He believes that it suggests a bearish perspective for the German government. We know the Germans aren't very happy with Bitcoin, that's why they're selling it, but maybe they should have held on to it. Just give me 1 second. 1 minute. Just pause 1 second while I mute my phone. Sorry about that. Right then, where were we? We were talking about Bitcoin being sold. Now, I said yesterday that I was expecting a move up in the market. And we did. We moved up. Yesterday's stream, we were about here. And we moved up. We got as high as 66,500, and we got a hard no on that. We got a hard no, and again, when I say we're going to move up, it normally means we're going to move up to a point of resistance. My point of resistance was, or still is, 67.4. We got to 67.5. Brogan pointed out on his stream yesterday that was the midpoint, and we have been rejected. And since we've been rejected, we have done nothing but absolutely pan to the downside. So we're coming in at 63.7. If we zoom out a little bit, we do have our targets. If we go to the weekly, we should probably see that we are somewhere now near the bull market support band, which is exactly where we are now. So we are back at the bull market support band. And where are we going to go from here? Well, the targets were 63,000 and about 61,000. There are two targets. Now, remember, it's witching day. In 4 hours' time, 5 hours' time, the markets are going to go ballistic. We could absolutely tank. We could have a wick down. We could come to 58,000 today. Now that sounds dramatic, but it's not even a 10% move. So what is likely to happen? I think we will come to here at 61. Then we will move back up. Remember, RSI, we're at the bottom, we're oversold. We've been rejected at 66,500. So we have our natural reaction to the rejection, which is a move to the downside. Back over here at 61 and change, we have our previous level of support. So today, 63 holds. If it doesn't, we go to 61. If something else happens in the market, there is some more major bullish news, then we go to 58. But we have a lot of ugly sticks to hit on the way down this tree. And I don't know whether 63 is going to give way. I don't know whether 61 is going to give way, but they're the prices we're looking for. And for those people that have been watching the stream for the last week or so, I'm just going to redraw a pattern so you can see what we are talking about. Let's get rid of some of these lines and bring this down a bit. We have this lovely M pattern, which I don't think is going to massively play out, but it's there. Now, do we go all the way back down to 52,000? Maybe. Or do we follow this M pattern and come down to here? And if this holds and we bounce again, which is kind of nearly the bottom of the bull market support band at 61,000. So for me, what's important is we hold 63. If we don't hold 63, we hold 61. If we don't hold 61, get your checkbooks out and start thinking about buying Bitcoin, because we have 52,000 and 57,000 as our two targets. We have, if I drag some of these lines down from here, we have these levels here, and we need to be looking to hold some of these. If not, that's our target, 52. And I'm not being bearish, because I don't expect us to be down there for the next 3 or 4 months. I don't expect us to panic sell and come crashing down, but that's on the books. That is on the books. Anyway, let me know in chat. It's very quiet today. Very, very quiet. Let me know in chat what you think. Are we going to go to 63? Are we going to hold 63? Are we going to hold 61? Or are we coming down to 58 and then 52? Let me know what you think. I've not even had coffee today. That's how bad things are. No coffee. Now we're going to move on. Again, there is always bullish news in the midst of these fire sales. There's always bullish news. And that comes in the form of the next new shiny thing, which is public companies holding Bitcoin in their treasury. So as you probably most of you are aware, Facebook, Apple, Tesla, they've all got billions and billions of dollars sitting in cash, billions and billions of euros as well in terms of Tesla. And they hold the money there, but it costs them money to hold there. Elon Musk famously once spoke about the fact that it costs him 1% per year to have his billions of euros in the different banks. And Bitcoin, very similar to gold, should be a store of value. that doesn't just hold its value against the dollar, but appreciates over time. So some public companies have now started to do this and buy Bitcoin. And the more companies that do this, the higher the price of Bitcoin goes, the higher the market cap it goes, the less volatile Bitcoin will become. In 10 years' time, we are not going to be seeing the moves that we see today, percentage-wise. We are not going to be seeing 3 or 4% moves in a day. We will see 0.5%, 1%. Gold moves $10 or $15 in a day. Bitcoin can do $2,000 in a day. We're not the same. So these companies are now announcing that they are buying Bitcoin and putting it into their treasuries. We know about MicroStrategy, and we know what effect that has on the price of MicroStrategy. They are a proxy Bitcoin company at the end of the day, but they're not just the only ones. Metaplanet, which is a Japanese publicly traded company, they have been buying Bitcoin. Why? Because the Japanese currencies, the Japanese economy isn't doing very well. So their buying power, their purchasing power in yen is just going nowhere. So they are buying Bitcoin. But they're not the only ones. Semler Scientific, we've covered them on the channel. They have bought 581 Bitcoin. Their price has gone up 60%. This isn't going to happen to every company. It happens at the beginning. DeFi Technologies, again, prices have gone up. They've been buying Bitcoin. Tesla, we know about Tesla, buying Bitcoin. All of these companies buying Bitcoin are not doing it for the share price. They're doing it to hold the value of their treasuries, which in turn adds value to their shareholders. That's why they're doing it. And the reason that I'm picking this out is, again, in 5 or 6 years' time, it will be unusual for companies not to have Bitcoin as part of their treasury. The same way that governments around the world, they hold US dollars. About 55% of the world reserve currency is in US dollars, and it's falling. It's gone from 65 to 55 in 10 years. Bitcoin, I expect Bitcoin to become 1% of the global world reserve currency in about 10 years. 1% maybe. I expect people's portfolios to hold between 1 and 3% of their portfolios in Bitcoin. These things take time, but just think of the sheer amount of money that is to hold 1% or 3% of everything. Good morning, Tariq. I hope you're well. Mag thinks 61. I think 61 is a good shout as well. We had a conversation weeks ago, one Saturday in the studio, and we were saying we think 60,000 is going to hold, and it did. It was on 60,000 for 4 or 5 days. It held, and then we moved up. I don't know if 63 is the new 60. And I don't know if we hold 63 today and bounce, or we hold 60. 61 I think we'll go to, but the issue with 61 is it's really close to 60. So although it's a higher low, it's not much of a higher low. And we've lost 64, which was important. We've lost 66, that was important. We've lost a lot of critical levels, but we do have a lot of support beneath us. And maybe we bounce off 63.5 today and we go up. On a more positive note, we've already mentioned that a Canadian company is filing for a Solana ETF, even though it's not, it's more of a trust, but they're still filing for one. More bullish news about Solana today. Solana captures 60% of the new DEX volume in May. So 60% of the volume is in Solana. Now, what's so important about that is you can tap into that, and now you know that information. What should you be buying? You should be buying Orca, Radium, and most importantly, Dupe. They are the DEXs and the aggregator on Solana with the biggest market caps and therefore the most volume. So I'm going to take a little side step here, because some of you might be saying, well, how do you know all this? How is this information important? Good morning, Danny. Welcome back to the stream. Right. Step Finance. can give us all the information we need. Top performing coins is irrelevant, we don't need that. But here we go. So this is the volume. Now, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, if I have to make it bigger or smaller. There we go, that might fit on the screen. If I zoom in a little bit and down, can you see it? Oh, it's really, really small. Right. I'll go through it. This isn't a graph. So basically, this is a chart of volume by DEX. Radium, Orca are the top two by a country mile. Between them, they're 90% of the volume. You can just about see it on the bottom of your screen. It's a little bit flawed the way that we do this, but hey, what can we do? The issue is, 60% of all crypto volume, DEX crypto volume, is going into Solana. It's not going to change, so you should be taking advantage of that and buying tokens associated with DEXs on Solana. The same way that if it was on Ethereum, you'd go out and buy Uniswap, you'd go and buy Jupiter, you'd go and buy Orca, you'd go and buy Radium. Those three tokens will give you the most access to Solana. Now, move on down here. Behind this growth is a monolithic architecture, said Pantera in a June 18 report, calling the network the Mac OS of blockchains. Solana's share has gone from 0 in 2021 to 25% in 3 years. So they've taken a quarter of the market in 3 years. They're not going to stop there, are they? I mean, obviously they're playing catch up, so it's quick to do that. But they'll have a third of the volume within the next couple of years. Absolutely. Solana's architecture has a product roadmap focused on optimizing every component of its blockchain, similar to Apple's approach with Mac OS. That's where I will draw the line, however. Earlier this year, the venture capital firm raised money for a new fund aimed at purchasing $250 million worth of Solana. We know about that. They bought it at a massive discount. It was outrageous. The network's unique active addresses rose from 14,000 in 2020 to 1.3 million in May 2024. Think about that number, 1.3 million. It doesn't even scratch the surface, does it? We have 7 billion people on planet Earth. Probably only 1 billion people are ever going to really go near crypto. And of that, maybe 300 million will go near DEXs, unless they become more integrated into mobile phones and all that kind of stuff. But let's say, for argument's sake, 300 million. If we're saying that a third of all DEX volume is going to go through Solana, which is my premise, that would be 100 million people. That would be 100 times the amount that are using it today. 100 times. Now, it might not be 100 times the volume because some of these people will have less money to spend. So let's say it's 50 times the volume. It's still a 50x on the entire ecosystem of Solana. And I mean, it's uncomprehendable the levels that Solana can go to. And, I do like Solana, but I also like 50 other coins. I'm just pointing out the metrics of where it's come from to now. It's played catch up. It's got 25% of the market. It's got Jupiter, which is trying to be GUM, I think it's called, which is basically bring every single thing to Solana. Real world assets, AI, DEX volume, everything is going to come to Jupiter. So that is why I am so bullish on Solana, because you asked me for the roadmap of various different blockchains. I can quite easily tell you where Cardano is going to go, because Charles talks about it all the time. I can quite easily tell you the roadmap of Solana because it has a clear path. But look at some other chains. Ethereum has like a 7-year roadmap, and it's long-winded. Where's the development? Where's the hype? Why isn't Uniswap doing this for Ethereum? That's the thing you have to look at. Solana is just making all the right noises and it's working. And that's why you can't fade on Solana. Very simply. So, we're not going to spend too much time on this. By May 2024, Solana accounted for 85% of all new tokens appearing on DEXs, up from 50%. We don't care about that. It's the meme coin frenzy. Solana's performance is also affecting its SOL token. It's up 700% in the last year. We said this again at the start of the show. It was, what did I say, 12 or 16? It was $16 this time last year. So look at where it's come from. Look at where Solana is today. Think about how far Solana is going to go over the next 3 years. I don't think for 1 minute it is going to overtake Ethereum. Let's just put that out there. I don't think it's going to happen. Not phone friendly. Are you saying Solana is not phone friendly? Most blockchains are, but if you have a Solana phone, it is phone friendly. If you use Phantom on your mobile phone, you can actually go through Phantom and use Phantom as a web browser on your phone, and not many people know that, and that is a problem. Now then, we appear to have had a bounce on Solana. On the hourly, we seem to have come down and touched off 130. We've come back up to 131. Again, we're still in this downward pattern, which we drew yesterday. We haven't broken out of it. It's the same chart for nearly every coin. What do I say? Nothing, I've done that the second time, nothing goes down forever. We are going to rally. Now, we might not rally up here in a straight line, but we are going to rally. We have to rally. There is no sense in this continual downward movement. We were at $174 on June the 5th. We're at $131 today. That is 30% down, are we? We've had a 30% correction. We've had, what correction on Bitcoin have we had? 20% correction nearly on Bitcoin. We don't go much lower. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. We don't go much lower. And I know a lot of people out there sit on the fence on these things, but we don't. We're at almost at max pain. And today, because of the quadruple witching, this could be the end of the max pain. So let's not panic. Good time for a dip. Good morning, Kishan. Welcome. Let's very quickly have a look at the poll so far. What are the end of June expectations? Above 70,000, below 70,000. It's fairly close. 56% think will be below 70, and 44% think will be above 70. Now, I'm going to tell you now, 56% of you are clearly going to be wrong, because we're easily going to be over 70,000 in 9 days' time. There again, I've said it. Why? Because we're going to bounce. We said, if I go back very quickly, just to remind you of the very first X file that we had today. This is what's important. The biggest liquidity zone is $72,000. Now, yes, we are miles away from it now. Okay. We've also said it takes 1 to 2 weeks to move $10,000 in Bitcoin, or $11,000, I think was the max amount. 7 to 15 days to make that move. 10 days left in the month. 9 days left in the month, sorry. It's doable. It's very, very doable. And most of you are probably looking at $50,000. That's what they want you to think. And I don't mean some mysterious tinfoil hat group of people that sit in a darkened room. I mean the whales. I mean the liquidity hunters. They look for liquidity in the market. Where are they going to pick up the most money? Shorting longs, longing shorts, pushing the price to the point where they break and get liquidated. When you see these moves, these cascading moves to the upside or the downside, it's all about them grabbing liquidity. They know we're not going to be at these prices for a very long time. They also know that the higher the price of Bitcoin, the higher the market cap of Bitcoin, the harder it is to do what they're doing. So this is maybe their last great hurrah. Anyway, let's move on. Here's how much Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy now holds after the recent buy. So they issued, was it a $700 or an $800 million options? Yeah, we don't care about that. Okay, so he bought another 11,931 Bitcoin, amounting to $786 million. This was financed through the proceeds from convertible notes and excess cash purchasing the Bitcoins at an average price of just under $66,000. And again, a lot of you out there will be laughing. He's just bought at $66,000 and now we're at $63,500. What an absolute klutz. No. Nobody's going to laugh at Michael Saylor when we're at $250,000. Nobody's going to laugh at Michael Saylor when we're at $500,000 in Bitcoin or $1 million in the future. No one's going to laugh at him. Remember what he's doing. I've asked this question to you before. Michael Saylor has said that he's never going to sell his Bitcoin. They hold over 225,000 Bitcoin. They hold nearly 11% of the supply. It's actually more if you discount Satoshi's amount, if you discount the lost Bitcoin. It maybe holds 14% of the total supply. Why? Because he's going to create a liquidity hotel, he calls it. He very rarely talks about this because he very rarely gets asked about it. What's important is to think about why people are doing things. How is Michael Saylor ever going to pay anybody back if he doesn't sell his Bitcoin? I never see people talk about this. Think about it. What he's going to do is he's going to create an institutional grade liquidity pool using Bitcoin, where they will be able, for a small fee, to use his Bitcoin for transactions, for maybe not borrowing and lending, but other ways that financial institutions do it. And that is how he's potentially also going to offer you a product for your own Bitcoin. Because remember, Michael Saylor isn't in this for you or for me or for the good of crypto or for the good of anybody else. He's in this because he is a capitalist and he wants to own as much as he can own of a finite asset. And that finite asset is Bitcoin. It could be something else, not necessarily in the future, but it could have been something else. It's a finite asset with a finite supply where the supply is falling dramatically every 4 years and the demand is increasing exponentially. What do we do when MicroStrategy becomes the biggest company in the world? It's going to become bigger than Nvidia, and it will do that based on the price of Bitcoin. At $1 million, they're going to be worth, is that 226 trillion? 226 billion, sorry. Or whatever it might be, a ridiculous amount. 2.26 trillion maybe, I don't know. I have to do numbers, I think it's 2.26 trillion. What happens then? He becomes the bank of Bitcoin. He becomes the Barclays, the Goldman Sachs, the BlackRocks. And he will then be able to make money and monetize Bitcoin by having this outrageous pool of money to be able to allow institutional investors to borrow against, lend against, whatever he wants to do. That's why it's so important to understand the game that Michael Saylor is playing. He is not playing chess. He is not playing checkers. He is playing 6D Bitcoin. And that is what is important to understand. Nobody asks the obvious questions. And that is an obvious question. And nobody asks it. And I've seen 40, 50 interviews with him. Can I put an order in to buy Solana at 110? Well, what I would do today, Tariq, in all seriousness, today is the one day that's likely to happen. A buy order at 114 to 120 is, of all days, today is probably the only day it can happen. Now, let me give you some prices. Because if we don't bounce from where we are, and it looks like we are bouncing from where we are, but let's say, for argument's sake, that we continue to come down, where could we go? Right, we have a fib level there at $113. So $114 would be a good price for a fib, for a buy order. If we go back and we look to where we've wicked to, so if we just borrow this line for a second to show you, we wicked to 117, we wicked to 118, we wicked to 122. So for me, 119, 117, and 114, if that makes sense. So 119, 117. I really need to go back to school and learn how to draw. And 114, 119, 117, 114. But again, I'm 90% certain we're not going to get there and we'll bounce. But it's absolutely the right strategy. The right strategy when markets are like this is to put in low ball offers. I remember this time last year, Brogan was putting offers in of $6. $6 on Solana. That's what we were doing this time last year. He got himself a huge bag of Solana at $6. And now he staked it. It's making him 8% at $135 or $230. And if that goes to the $1,000, where people are expecting it to go to, he will have made almost 100x on his money, which is not bad for a 19-year-old. Now, we mentioned very briefly before about chains. You make your own luck, Tariq. That's what I will say to that. Mag says $128. Anything around here is a bargain. And I was going to make a video, which I'm not going to do because I don't have time. There's so many videos I need to make. I've got paralysis by analysis at the minute because I've got so many videos to make. When the markets are in this zone, this area, you need to look at what you can pick up that is going to add the most value to your portfolio. Now, for me, today, I am likely to buy maybe $1,000 of Ondo, right? And that's my purchase of June, I think. The reason I'm buying Ondo is I think I know where it's going to go. The reason I bought NEAR last month was I think I know where it's going to go. And this is where you can be real, like you've baked your cake. Your cake is baked. And then you now get to the point where you're starting to decorate your cake, or you've decorated your cake, but you want to put like a few things, a cherry on top of your cake. And this is the time where you zoom in on your portfolio and you pick with laser precision tokens that you didn't think you could get at these prices a month or two ago because you've seen where they've gone. Now, go to CoinMarketCap, sort the coins by worst performance over the last 30 days, and that will give you the worst performing tokens. Dupe is in there. Dupe is in the worst performing tokens of the last 30 days. It's at 80 cents. I mean, seriously, they've just burned, or they're going to burn 30% of the total supply. There's only ever going to be 7 billion dupe, not 10. What does that do to the price? It should push the price up 50% from where I expected it to go. I expected a $5 dupe. Now I'm expecting a $10 dupe. It's at 80 cents. So there's coins out there that you should look at that you didn't think you could afford. Or alternatively, do you not have enough Solana? Do you not have enough Ethereum? Do you not have enough Bitcoin? Ideally, 30, 40, 50% of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin. And if you're nowhere near that, start topping up your Bitcoin. Same with Ethereum, should be 20 or 30% of your portfolio. Solana should be a good 5 or 10% of your portfolio. Look at what you can pick up, because now is a great time to be getting into some of these tokens. Right then, let us move on super quickly and make sure we do not overrun. So, Charles, again, Charles is not playing chess or checkers. He is playing 7D Cardano. I like Charles, and I like Cardano. What I don't like about Charles and Cardano, what I don't like about the environment about Cardano is the amount it gets bashed by people. It gets absolutely crapped on by the news. That's the polite way of putting it. And they have a go at him because he is not Anatoly Yakovenko. He is not Michael Saylor. He is not one of the, he's not Cathie Wood. He's a very old-looking man for a 30-year-old, and he is very outspoken. But the actual product he's building is going to be excellent. The problem is it's taking too long. Which is the best proof-of-stake system in the world? Cardano's. Cardano's proof-of-stake is so good, Ethereum are copying it. And Vitalik admitted that. So Cardano is the best proof-of-stake blockchain in the world. Where does Cardano fall down? Everywhere else. It falls down. The fundamental aspect of Cardano is sound. But Hydra and all of the other updates on Cardano are simply taking too long. I never thought Cardano wouldn't be ready for this bull run, but I don't think it is. I think 2030 is maybe where Cardano really will be shining. Doesn't mean the price isn't going to go up, and I still hold a big bag of Cardano. I'm massively bullish on the ecosystem, and the people in Cardano as well. Articulate, clever, super nice people. I covered a lot of their projects before they were big and successful. I covered Bank, I covered Snek. I got into their Discords. They're really nice people. They're not like Solana. They're not like other projects, other blockchains. They're nice people. However, Charles has come out and addressed the critics who believe some community members are exploiting the project. In a succinct response, Hoskinson asked the critics if every researcher and developer in Cardano were to work for free. The pessimist in me says this fund will continue to go to the grifters and cabal with big wallets, while producing nothing of significance on the chain. Show me some tangible evidence that some of the funds have gone to builders. Charles has quite rightly pointed out every researcher and developer in Cardano should work for free. His response stemmed from criticism from several Cardano community members who expressed concern about the project's current state. It claims that the opportunistic individuals within the Cardano community and requested a change of approach. A Cardano community member identified as King Alex on X voiced his support for a proposal to burn 1.5 billion ADA treasury. According to Alex, burning the entire treasury would halt the issuance of ADA tokens to Cardano exploiters. Again, I don't think burning 1.5 billion ADA is the solution. I mean, they're looking in the wrong place for the solution to the problem, in my humble opinion. It's not the right thing to do. Alex post garnered support from other Cardano community members who believe the treasury funds have been misallocated to a group of large wallet holders. At the end of the day, large wallet holders are normally either whales, who they wouldn't be getting the funds because they're not builders, or big solid projects that have come to Cardano and are being paid for their work. Again, I don't have an issue with that. When you are working in industries as cutthroat as crypto, you have to remember there's a shortage of developers, project managers, people who understand crypto. There's a shortage. So what happens? there is a supply shock, therefore the price goes up. So if you look at Jupiter, for example, some of those guys over there are getting paid $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. Don't believe me, go and look at the LFG vote. Do I think that's really expensive? Yes. Do I think it's appropriate remuneration for somebody in crypto at this state? Yes, I do think it is. When, and I'm old enough to remember when the internet started, web developers, and I don't mean programmers, I mean the web developers that make HTML pages, were getting paid £40,000, £50,000 a year at a time where that equivalent today is about £150,000 a year. That's about $250,000 a year. So it's comparable. In my opinion, it's comparable. So don't complain that somebody who's building a product for Jupiter that's going to add a zero to the project is getting paid $500,000 a year. It's peanuts. The same way, why do people pay Ronaldo so much money or Messi so much money? Because they generate so much money. And at this moment in time, unfortunately, crypto is a very small niche group of programmers who can jump from one exchange to the other. It's supply and demand. And if Charles, quite rightly, wants to pay somebody a ridiculous amount of money to build a product that's going to work, fine. The issue comes is when he's paying people to do stuff that doesn't get delivered. There needs to be deliverables, and there needs to be a 360 review of what gets built. Cardano, as we can see, again, is in serious pain right now. On the 1 hour, it's really not looking too good. I can't draw these lines on these graphs. It's not looking good for any coin. And I think that is where we need to probably understand. And I said this to you yesterday, and I want you all to take this to heart. In the bull run, Tariq is Warren Buffett. In the bull run, Mags is Warren Buffett. And Danny, and Kishan, and Gianni, you are all Warren Buffets in the bull run. Everything you touch turns to gold, goes up 50%, 200%. You are all investing geniuses. In corrections and in the bear market, okay, you are not Warren Buffett, and nothing you buy will matter because everything you buy goes down. And the key is, how do you hold the most value in a bear market? You hold Bitcoin. In a correction, what do? You look for the coins you think have got the most potential and you buy them up. That's how you win. This is when you buy. You buy now. You buy next week. If we go to 57,000, you buy then. Every time the price of these coins goes down, it adds a multiple to what it's going to get to. If Cardano was at 50 cents today, and I think peak bull run, it goes to $5, that's a 10x. Now, if Cardano goes to 35 cents and then goes to $5, it's almost a 12x. That's the difference. The difference in what you make happens now, at the bottom, at corrections. Now, the other way to play this game, if you don't hold for the long run, is you do, and we'll just use this chart. I know it's the 1 hour, it doesn't matter, okay? Let's imagine it's the daily chart. Okay, you sell at these prices and you buy at these prices, okay? Now, this could be a daily or a weekly chart, and this happens on lots of coins. And that is another way for you to trade if you want to be more active. If you go to Ethereum, which is a good example of this, and we scoot across, price go up, come down, go up, come down, go up, come down, crash, come up, come down, come up, come down. Okay? If you want to trade on daily or weekly charts, you buy and sell daily and weekly charts. That's an option. If you don't, and you don't want to do that, you buy the coins that have retraced the most that you want to buy. And that is how you make your money. And that is why I'm going to buy Ondo. And that's why I bought Near. And that's why I bought, what else did I buy? Oh, I bought something else recently as well. I bought Near. I'm buying Ondo. I bought something else. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. But I'm being super picky because I don't want 50 coins. As I keep saying to you, my portfolio is no more than maybe 20, 15 coins, and some of them are very small. So just remember, going back to Cardano, going back to ADA. The trick is, if you believe that we are going to see a $3, $4, $5 ADA, and remember the Solana chart is the same, Bitcoin is the same, it doesn't matter, you're not failures for buying these tokens at 50 cents and 45 cents. By buying at these prices, you reduce the overall cost of your portfolio. So if you have $1,000 of Cardano at 50 cents and you buy $1,000 of Cardano at 40 cents, your average price will be 45 cents. It lowers the value, the cost value of your tokens. And again, we could go down for another couple of weeks. I don't think we're going to go down for another couple of weeks, but we could. I think we're going up. We're going to test the support band. That's the first thing I think we should do. I think we're going to test that level. Now that level is almost 50 cents. We're at 38 cents today. You're going to make 25% profit, 30% profit if you sell when it gets to the support band. We don't stay down here forever. Cardano, for me, is a solid project. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a solid layer one. It just is taking maybe too much time. And of course, Solana is stealing the limelight, isn't it? I hope no more, yes, I can't say that one, no more, yeah, in the near future, or we'll lose what we have. I don't see that happening. If you look at the next 12 months, we're going to have new governments in many different parts of the world, especially in America, and probably the UK for that matter. We're going to have new governments. If the person in America wins, who we expect to win, then expect to see an end to conflicts. That's one thing. I think certain global, how do I say this? It's so difficult. You've got to walk on eggshells when you do these streams. There are certain global bodies that are not elected that are losing their political sway because they've abused their political sway. And there's two I'm thinking of, and they're both three-letter acronyms, and I can't say them out loud, and they're losing their sway with the world. And I think that's a good thing, because I think it went too far to listening to them. And I think we're now going to come out the other end. And again, the world works on pendulums. It swings to the left, it swings to the right. Sometimes it's really far to the left, sometimes it's really far to the right. The key is keeping governments as centralist as possible, because you don't want a leftist government. As Margaret Thatcher always said, it's always easy to spend other people's money until you run out of it. So you don't want complete socialism. You also don't want complete conservatism, because then the capitalists make too much money. You want a mixed type of government, and that is where we're not here. We're not there yet. Maybe in 6 years' time we will be there. But the issue is, I don't think we're going to have. Well, I know one black swan which we're going to have, and it involves a certain country that makes the semiconductors. That's going to be the next black swan, in my opinion, Tariq. But it's not a black swan because it's been telegraphed. It's been telegraphed for 2 years, so we know that's going to happen. That's not going to happen whilst something else is going on in Europe, because they talk to each other. Anyway, hey guys, good morning, Kabir. Good morning to you and welcome to the stream. I hope you are well. Remember, this is not the time to panic, is what I'm saying. Again, I can't explain to you how hard it is to self-censor yourself on a stream. You can't say so many different things. I can't talk about exchanges. I can't talk about certain coins because we're on certain exchanges that don't have them. I can't talk about that. I can't talk about global bodies. I can't talk about the things that Tariq brought up. It's very difficult to do this and not slip up from time to time. But we try. Now then, moving on. Konami and Avalanche unveil Reseller NFT platform. Now, am I a fan of Avalanche? I said 2 years ago it was trash. And now it isn't. Tariq, don't apologise. You can type what you want in chat. It's just I can't read it out. That's the thing. If you know what we all know what we're talking about, and we all know what you're saying, it's fine. You're allowed to say what you want. I am not. So I can respond to you, and don't not put those things in chat, because that's your opinion. You're allowed to say that, but I just can't say certain words out loud. So then, Avalanche was trash. I didn't like it. I even made a joke that said that FIFA had gone down the list of blockchains and stopped at A and made a phone call to Avalanche because it was just A. And since then, they've come a long way and they've improved dramatically. I hold a small bag of Avalanche, and by small, I mean really small. I don't even know. Probably a few $100s of Avalanche, if that. Konami Digital Entertainment teams up to launch an NFT platform. Now, when I was growing up, which was back when everything was black and white, and I mean what was on the TV, Konami was the company. They were the company. They made every great game back in the day, and they've been not disappeared, but they've kind of like been caught up by a lot of other companies. Anyway, Reseller, which facilitates transactions in Japanese yen, is initially focused on the Japanese market, with a vision to extend its services worldwide, simplifying blockchain entry for novices. The partnership leverages Avalanche's subnet tech and Ava Labs' Ava Cloud service to ensure efficient, cost-free operations to position Reseller as a competitive NFT market space. Remember, Ava Cloud, as far as I'm aware, is Google Cloud, I think. Konami, a leading gaming industry player with popular titles such as Metal Gear and Silent Hill, is taking a step to merge Tradgam. We're going to have to think of a name for that, aren't we? Tradgam with Web3. Reseller aims to transform existing platforms and create new social interactions, like using game-based NFTs for event access or unlocking special content. The gaming industry is increasingly adopting Web3 tech with initiatives like Ronin's new infrastructure. Some companies like GameStop have retreated from NFTs. Now, the issue is, I think NFTs are dead in the form that they came out. I'm more like Charlie Munger. Didn't he pass away a few days ago? So the issue is that NFTs are dead. And the reason I say that is, for the last 2 years, we've been saying, when are too many NFTs? Everybody makes NFTs. Now we've got the same situation on Solana. Everybody's making meme coins. There's 120,000 coins made on Solana in the last month alone. So, as NFTs are, in my opinion, in their current guise, they're dead. In the future, they will become like keys, unique keys to access something. And they will become valuable based on the utility that they provide. What I mean by that is, if Sandbox or Decentraland holds its annual rock concert, to get into the rock concert, you will need an NFT. So it's a digital ticket, a digital key. and obviously a badge of honor as well for certain things, especially in games. So this idea of having the next Bored Ape, the next CryptoPunk, it's not there. There isn't going to be the next one. They're there. They've been done. There's only 2 NFTs I'd ever buy in the world, and that would be a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk, and that would be it. And if you ever wanted to tip the channel, I would be quite happy to accept a Bored Ape or even a Mutant Ape. They only cost $7,000 or $50,000, but that would be a great tip. Anybody out there wants to send me a Bored Ape, feel free. But the point is, NFTs are going to go from these cartoon rocks to having specific utilities. We've talked about Polygon and Starbucks and having special VIP NFTs that give you access to certain coffees, all this kind of stuff. They're going to become kind of exclusivity NFTs, and they're going to replace tickets. Of course they're going to replace tickets. They'll replace season tickets. They might replace the way that music works. So you buy an album off a band, and then you can sell that album to somebody else because it's a limited edition, all these kind of things. So that's where we're going to go, where they'll become just, they will replicate real life, but do it in a digital way. And in gaming especially, skins and all these kind of things, characters, skins, dances, moves, guns, all these kind of things, that will of course replace what we have now, which is something that doesn't really work for gamers. You can play Fortnite, win a competition, get an exclusive skin that's one of one, and then what can you do with it? You can wear it. What happens if you don't want to play Fortnite? It goes with you. So that's going to happen in the future, and Konami moving in that direction, I think, is the right move. I've seen, and we've covered games on here before, that have stopped developing NFTs and just made games, and it's an absolutely wrong decision to make. NFTs are about ownership. That is, if anybody says to you, what's the point of an NFT? It's ownership. What do you mean? You own your skins, you own your characters, you own your dance moves, therefore you can sell them. Ownership is what it is about. If Bitcoin allows you to own your money, NFTs allow you to own your assets in games and anything else for that matter. Balenciaga is another good example. They've got their own NFT collection. So they're not bad things, but as they are, they're dead. These pretty graphics have been ruined by the ability for everybody in the world to create an NFT. So what? We've got 10 trillion NFTs. How do they have any value? They don't have any value. That's the point. They're just a waste of time. The same as these 120,000 meme coins that were created on Solana in the last month. Only probably 3 or 4 of them have got any value now. So what happens to the 119,995 of them? They're just a waste of space. The same with NFTs, are a waste of space. They're a novelty. Now we need to, as I said the other day, you need to look at companies that are going to make money. We're at the stage now, what happens if Avalanche runs out of money? What happens if Cardano runs out of money? Or your favorite layer 2 or your favorite project, what happens when it runs out of money? It will shutter and you're done. Kabir, yes, I pointed that out on the stream. We are at 140,000 followers. We did break it. And the big one is, of course, 150,000, which hopefully will be sometime. I think we will hit it before the end of July. That's what I think. Anyway, enough of that. It's 10 past 12. It's Friday. You all want to go out and have a great time and do whatever you want to do. I, this afternoon, will be watching Countdown, which is, don't ask. I'll be watching Countdown this afternoon and I will be drinking champagne because it's a Friday and I've worked really hard this week. Tomorrow, there is not likely to be a show. The reason is that Brogan has his own trading view indicator called Simple Significance. He needs to make videos on how it works. We don't have time. He's got a day job. He's programming. He is doing 2 nighttime streams on Mondays and Thursdays. He doesn't have time to record the videos on simple significance. So tomorrow, he will be working on simple significance. I might make 3 or 4 videos tomorrow. And remember, videos make me money, as do becoming OG members of the channel. That makes us money as well. So we need to balance off the live streams where we get to speak to you guys and get feedback and have a conversation against actually making some money. So tomorrow it is unlikely we're going to do a live stream. If I get up and I have time to do it, I will do a live stream in the morning. If not, it'll be Monday, because I will spend Saturday and Sunday making videos. I need to make videos because our channel revenues dropped 80% this month. And we can't work on that. We can't buy equipment. We need better cameras. We need all kinds of stuff. So with all that being said, the final thing I'm going to say is the end of June expectations. The vote has come in. 42% of you think we will go above 70,000 by the end of the month. 58% of you think we will still be below 70,000 by the end of the month. And very quickly, let's go and see. I think we had a bounce. I think we've had a bounce. 64, are we at 64 now? We've come back to 64, so we've had a bit of a bounce, but again, it could be a dead cat bounce. You never know. Anyway, have a great weekend. Crypto market manipulation videos. Yeah, I might do. I've also got to be careful about the videos that I make as well, because there's certain types of videos I can't make because they'll get our channel in trouble. So I will have a look at it. So thank you, Kabir. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Tariq. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Mags, Gianni, everybody else that's in chat. Have a great afternoon. And I might see you tomorrow. If not, you will certainly see some of my videos tomorrow. So take care. Have a great weekend.
on,